I'm Sierra Bose. Welcome to my channel, Learning Builds Life. Today we are going to talk about a chemistry problem. Let's take a look at the problem. An element X has atomic number 1 and another element Y has 6 as its atomic number. What type of compound is expected out of X and Y, covalent or electrovalent? Identify the elements X and Y. What is such a compound commonly called? Name the simplest one of this type. Name its physical state at room temperature and at atmospheric pressure. We need to solve this problem part by part to make it easy. So let's break down this problem into parts and solve it. The first part is an element X has atomic number 1 and another element Y has 6 as its atomic number. We need to identify the elements X and Y. Means already one question, one part has been given here. Identify the elements X and Y. So we are doing that right now. X. As per our knowledge, we know that hydrogen has the atomic number 1. So we could identify that X is hydrogen, H. And now coming to Y. Y has 6 as an atomic number. Again, according to information, we know that the element carbon, C, has its atomic number as 6. So element Y is carbon, C. We've done our identification of elements X and Y. Now the main part, what type of compound is expected out of X and Y, covalent or electrovalent? We know that hydrogen and carbon, both of them are nonmetals. Nonmetals. Obviously, we cannot expect an electrovalent compound out of X and Y. Because information of an electrovalent compound, we need an electron donor and any kind of element which will gain electrons, but there is no donor over here. No one is going to donate electrons. So there is sharing of electrons, which is aimed at achieving the stable octet or duplet, electronic configuration of the nearest inert gas to the nonmetals hydrogen and carbon. So the compound expected out of X and Y is covalent compound. This one is actually part 1's answer. This is part 2's answer. Moving on to the next part. So we have identified X and Y, and also we have found out what type of compound is expected out of X and Y. What is such a compound commonly called? Well, a compound consisting of carbon atoms and hydrogen atoms. A compound consisting of carbon atoms and hydrogen atoms is called a hydrocarbon. This is the answer to part 3. Name the simplest one of this type. The simplest hydrocarbon is methane. Is methane. Formula is CH4. This was the answer to part 4. And lastly, name its physical state at room temperature and at atmospheric pressure. Methane is a gas at room temperature and at atmospheric pressure. This is the answer to part 5. Now we can have a short recap. An element X has atomic number 1, and another element Y has 6 as its atomic number. What type of compound is expected out of X and Y? This is actually the answer to part 1, so I'm just correcting that there. Actually, X is hydrogen, H, and Y is carbon, C, as per our information. They are nonmetals, so sharing of electrons is actually aimed to achieve the stable octet or duplet electronic configuration of the nearest inert gas to hydrogen and carbon. So a covalent compound is formed. Next question. Identify the elements X and Y. This is actually part 2. We have already identified, but this is the answer to part 2. I corrected that over there. X is hydrogen and Y is carbon. What is such a compound commonly called? A compound consisting of carbon atoms and hydrogen atoms is called a hydrocarbon. This is the answer to part 3. The simplest hydrocarbon is methane, CH4. This is the answer to part 4. And lastly, to name its physical state at room temperature and at atmospheric pressure. Methane is a gas at room temperature and at atmospheric pressure. The answer to part 5. Now you may take a look at the board. Hope you enjoyed this episode, and please like, share, and subscribe my channel, and stay tuned for more videos. Thank you.